over to Alan in a minute. Just wanted to make one correction that was sent out by Rosie on email, and that was the actual theme for the month of August is night shots, not it's confusing. I think in some communications I had night skies or something else, but it's night shots. So that can include night skies or other shot taken at night.
Cool.
I thought it would be good to change what's in the galleon about the special categories for our competition, because we still have the old ones listed in the galleon, and we haven't updated the members yet to know that we have this month is a special category. It's not in the galleon that way.
I sent it out, and I'll send it out in the email I sent today. I mean, today I'm going to send out the email. And I think last month's competition, I listed them as well.
You did.
Yeah. But the galleon still, Flavia, on I think the last page or something where it lists that, it's not accurate. That we're going to have blur in 2 months too.
I had the right information about it in my president's message, but it should be on the last page corrected. So thank you, Rosie, for sending out a correction on that.
Sure.
As far as the sharing pictures tonight, I've been out of town for a few days, so I wasn't able to send anything in, but I can share my screen and maybe at the end and show a few shots.
Well, you won't be alone because only Cheryl, Elaine, and I contributed anything. Everybody else is playing and sharing directly.
Penny and I talked about it, but we were flakes and we never got around to actually doing it. She's been doing some stuff, and I've been screwing around with a hard drive that's crapping out and trying to get that switched over. And it's not like I've never done it before, but I've done everything wrong this time. I think it's going to go, but it's been kind of honking me off a little bit. But so we didn't send anything in. We had intended to, but good intentions, but not much action on our part.
I haven't updated the operating system on my Apple computer, and because I just don't want to. But
well,
it's starting.
Those Apple II computers will last a long time.
Well, the new operating system is supposed to work on. I don't know. It has more 16
gigabytes.
Or I don't know what it is. It's different, but anyway, it seems like my current Photoshop is having, and Lightroom is having problems keeping up with things these days, and I'm having a lot of problems. Every time I try to do anything, my computer's starting to get hung up, and so I know I need to update it. But
it's just a 64-bit only.
Yeah,
and it's all for crappy little 32-bit games.
Oh, it's going to delete them, or just not?
Well, they won't run.
They work.
So I hate to upgrade my system because I like my old 32-bit games, and
well, you're not going to be able to get that stuff anymore. I think all the Lightroom is 64-bit. And I did make the change. I waited about a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, or even 4, based on my experience with Windows. Don't ever upgrade right away. Let them get a few of the kinks out that they've screwed up, because they always break things when they do something new.
Right.
But anyway, I did wait, and I didn't have any problem with it.
Ron's done
it. It took a long time to put itself together. This will take a few moments. It took a couple hours for it to get its act together.
Yeah,
but, it did, and I didn't have any issues with it. And then but I did have to make sure I had 64-bit stuff, and the monitor calibrator I use. I think we're using the same one. Ron, you using Color Monkey for yours?
Color Monkey. I use Color Monkey Photo. Elaine used Color Monkey Display.
They don't have a. They pointed me to a download. I don't know. It wasn't specifically for the one I have, but it worked fine, and I did that, and it runs on my hardware for the Color Monkey, and so I didn't have any problems with it. I anticipated that there might be some kind of snag, but I didn't have any.
Yeah,
Ron
Now, hard
voted
drive,
right
getting
away.
around to the hard drive is another issue. And I'm
they
not-
give you the I1 display drive.
I bought a self-calibrating monitor, so I don't use a color monkey anymore.
What kind of monitor is that, Jim?
It's an ISO, EIZO, I think is the way it's spelled. It's a Japanese. And it has a built-in calibrator, and on a schedule that you set up, down at the bottom of your screen on a desktop, you've got the screen itself is recessed a little bit.
Yeah.
There on this, at least on this monitor, and what'll happen is on the schedule there'll be this little thing that pops up in front of the monitor from the case of the monitor, just pops up and it does color calibration, tells you it's done, and then it pops back down.
Oh, that's cool. I've seen those. I didn't know how they work. Are you happy with the result?
Yeah, it does the same kind of thing, except you set up the parameters at the beginning, and then you don't change them. And it does the color test, the different patches and stuff like that. It's the same idea, but it just does it hardware-wise, built in.
Yeah.
So
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I haven't calibrated my monitor physically for, I guess, 2 or 3 years now. So
Don't bother anymore, because even when mine was calibrated, I'd have to put my images on a thumb drive and bring them to Ron's computer to print, and they always looked different, and I had to redo them anyway. So I just quit bothering.
yeah.
But I have an all-in-one computer, so my monitor is my computer.
Yeah.
So that would be.
It's one of those Apple built-in.
Yeah.
Yeah. With what, two USB ports?
Just has one, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine that Apple would supply you with USB ports. It seems like they are some weird ass thing that nobody's ever seen or heard of before.
Yeah.
That's their trick.
My computer has 8, and they're full. I've used every one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to stick an extension on my little Mac Mini, and I've got, I think, 2 or 3 USBs, and then I got some kind of extension that plugs into some weird connector, and it gives me some other stuff I need. But they're kind of a pain in the neck for their access ports, but I've been real happy with the machine.
They're USB-Cs.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
I
the
can't
C
keep track of all this.
C is the newest one. Okay, so anybody have photos to show?
Yeah, I think we should, first, I think we should do the regular meeting stuff like field trips and
Okay.
announcements. So I think, Penny, you want to announce the field trip?
Sure.
Sort of announce that.
It's a scavenger hunt.
The scavenger. And then, and so I guess the idea is that'll be the basis of the next meeting.
I'll be right back. I got to get some mosquito spray for us. They're starting to come out.
Let's see. So August is the scavenger hunt. September was the trip to the lighthouse for the sunset photo shoot that Bob Mihalik put together. And the lighthouse isn't doing tours, and so that's been moved now till March of 2021. Well, cross our fingers. It might be moved again. I don't doubt it.
Well, Ed just popped right out of those trees.
Kind of like
I thought
Bigfoot.
that was a giant mosquito.
Yeah, I thought it was Bigfoot.
I'll tell you about Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot is blurry. That's the problem. Not the photographer. And that's scary because that means there's a large, out of focus monster roaming the countryside.
Okay, back to field trips.
Yeah. What's the distraction here?
This next Wednesday, the 12th, I hear is supposed to be the best for the meteor shower action. I had the idea, and I don't know if those of you that have been doing the Milky Way type shots have been out to Figueroa Mountain for any kind of shoots, but I read that that's one place to go. What kind of?
I've been there. You get a lot of glow from St. Marcos Pass because that's the direction you have to look. And Santa Barbara is right on the other side. So depending upon the fog level, you know, the atmospheric moisture, you can get a lot of glow there, and it's kind of hard to pick the Milky Way up. Also, the last time I was there trying to get the Neowise comet, the mosquitoes came out at sundown and tried to eat us alive.
Yeah. I read that to go to the Figueroa campground is the place to go. And maybe that's not so much in the light area, more dark. But supposedly there's a ridge behind the campground that you can go up to, and it's supposed to be very nice for skies, or any kind of skies. Has anybody been to the campground before?
No.
The roads, I mean, the trees are so dry there right now. It's there's a lot of dead trees, and I don't know. I haven't been to the campground, but some of the road going up to the top I know is closed because of fire danger. Ron and I went there to do the night sky. We didn't do the Milky Way, and we didn't have any luck doing Neowise up there, but we've done the North Sky and did, you know, the Star Trails, and it worked out really well for us. What we did was we just went, it was one of those first big turnoffs there. You're kind of up on a hill, and there's a bunch of trees up there, and there's a lot of room to walk around. That would probably be your best place. Where you would have a, you know, a view.
There's a turnout that the astronomy group of Vandenberg goes to.
I heard that.
I
No,
could
go
look
ahead.
up that.
Yeah, I heard that Elon Musk has a couple seats available on SpaceX.
For how much?
It's a mere $2.5 million.
Oh,
One-way trip.
Penny, one other option might be to go to the top of Tepiscay. Tepiscay Road is actually closed right now, but it's on the backside of Tepiscay, so you can go all the way to the top and just over the top. And there is some area where you can pull off and park. And because the road is closed below that, there's not a lot of traffic. There shouldn't be any traffic. You can actually probably stand out in the middle of the road and not. Anyhow, so just another thought. Blair and I were able to get some good images of the comet from there.
How do you get to that point, Cheryl?
You take Betaravia south from the 101, and then that connects to Foxen Canyon. And right near where we live is where Tepiscay takes off of Foxen Canyon.
Yeah,
sure, you can.
Left-hand turn. It's past Rancho Sisquoc, isn't that right? Do I remember that right?
It is. It's
maybe not. No.
2 miles past Sisquoc, the town of Sisquoc.
Right.
And then once you turn on that road, Tepiscay, it's 10 miles to the top. And then you want to just go over the top for about another 1/4 mile, looking for the pull-off on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll see when you start up Tepiscay, it says road closed. Just keep going.
So what's closed the road?
Well, so they're doing some sort of construction on the back side of the side that goes down to 166. I'm not really sure. When they're not working there during the day, like on the weekends, I go through blockades because I can't really see what it is that they're doing there. But at any rate, you can easily just go past where it says road closed and just go right over the top and pull over there. The actual construction is further down below that, whatever they're doing to the road there.
Well, is anyone interested to?
Oh, sorry.
I guess your dogs are very interested. Well, if there's
we went out to Carrizo Plains a couple times, and the light there, it's a dark sky area, and it's really nice. Hot.
It's just a long drive. I mean, it's a long drive out there.
yeah, it's a
Yeah, it
couple
is.
hours.
The weather's
Yeah.
pleasant at night after the sun goes down.
Well, if anyone has an interest to go, why don't those of us that are interested to go, maybe at the end of the meeting, we can talk about where we would want to go and so forth and put it together.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Good.
Understood.
Good.
Are you awake?
I'm muting my dogs. There was somebody at the door.
Oh, it wasn't my question that got him started. Okay, well that'll be good. So at the end of the meeting, we can discuss about going out next week, then to catch the meteor shower in the Milky Way, because it's close to the new moon. I think the Milky Way would maybe be a part of that. And those of you that have more experience with the meteor shower, please stick around too, even if you think you won't go, just to give us some advice. I'd appreciate it.
When did you say that was the best time?
Next week, the 12th.
Okay.
So that's a week from today.
Yes.
I don't remember what direction, what area of the sky is it? North or west or
Up.
where do we look?
Up.
You see, I don't
Look
know.
Do you remember, Ron? I know we knew, but
There's something on the internet I was looking at.
Yeah.
I have to find it.
we follow a guy
The
on.
Perseid showers. Perseid meteor showers.
Yeah,
Right.
but I can't remember what direction you look. I'm thinking it's northeast, but I could be wrong. I can't remember.
There's only going to be one more year for those showers.
Well, if anybody's interested, there's a real good YouTube channel. There's a guy who comes out at the very end of the month to let you know what is going to be in the sky the following month. And he goes through everything that's going to be in the sky. And he's real good at it, telling you. I mean, it's interesting. And I'll send a link to Rosie. Maybe she can send it to everybody. It's a good one for anything in the night sky.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
Okay, that's the field trip report. Thank you.
Hoo boy.
Okay, so other things we were talking about, we have an election coming up in the fall for new officers. And I was thinking, I said, well, I'm not going to serve anymore. And I've been doing this for like 4 years. I think I'm going to go for one more year, run as a candidate, because I think our pool of people is limited because we haven't quite made the transition from physical meeting to virtual meeting. Our physical meetings were usually like 25 people or so, and we're pulling in maybe 20, maybe 14 people or something on a virtual meetings. So we don't have much of a pool, right? I think this would be the wrong time to not run. So I'll do another year, and I don't know who else wants to run. Rosie, I don't know if you can take another year. Cheryl, I'd love to have you as president. If you think you can, I'll sub for you at any time.
Okay.
I really don't know what Bill would do. Bill doesn't seem to be really interested in virtual meetings. He's done one or two of them maybe, but he's also been treasurer for 20 years. So we might need to seek out a treasurer. If he decides he wants to go. I mean, I had to twist his arm last year. So it's just something to think about. And we're early. We'll have a board meeting probably in September where we'll hammer out more stuff.
Okay.
Anybody else have any announcements?
Well, I was going to say, we had the Saturday chat this last Saturday, and it was a really good chat. It's probably the best that we've had. We showed, I showed some photos by Peter Joel Whitkin, and Tony showed a lot of his photography, a lot of his cyanotypes, and his other work, and it lasted for 3 hours.
Wow.
Oh,
Really good discussions. So maybe next month, if anybody new wants to join, they could do that. It was really a good time. So
Sorry, I missed that. I just totally slipped my mind in the morning. I got busy trying to get ready to leave town, and
well, I've taken you off the list, Chuck.
okay. I enjoy them. It's just sometimes it's very hard to get there.
You're forgiven.
you'll have some chance to get back in the group, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like do a program or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any, do anybody else have any announcements of any kind? Has anyone contacted Jim Ogg, for example? Do we know, Rosie, you sent out the email about contacting him. Has anyone made contact with him?
We sent a card, and I sent him some flowers, but I actually haven't talked to him. It sounds like it would be difficult for him to hold a conversation, and
Yeah.
it's just we've been busy, just doing projects around the house, so that's not a good excuse. But
Well, he had that 666 phone number, so I was afraid to call.
Okay. So we get on to the main part of the meeting then, which is night stuff, and it could be whatever you want to show. And Greg has some. Maybe Greg should go first and show the images he has. Then after that, we can share screens if we have anything to show, which I'm sure people do. So,
Okay, I can do that.
all right, Greg, so take it away.
Go for it.
Cool. Whoa.
Okay, this one is from Cheryl. She can talk to us about it.
Cool.
Yep, it's taken from Tepiscay. The light down in the bottom left is Santa Maria, and there were clouds over Santa Maria, and that made it difficult to get. Probably a lot of you tried to get pictures from Santa Maria, and you couldn't. But up there, you could see the cloud layer, but above it was the comet.
the evening shot or a morning shot, Cheryl?
That was evening. It was about maybe around 9:30 maybe.
Yeah.
Very nice shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good capture.
Nice long tail.
I think it was like 15 seconds at maybe 3,200 and f5.6.
Super cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh, this is my stuff.
Take it away, Elaine.
Well, I tried to find some images to share from the field trip that we took to Guadalupe, and I really didn't have a lot of images from that day. But I thought this was an interesting door, so I thought I would just share it.
I like it. The graphics are nice and the colors are fabulous.
Yeah, I liked the colors, and I'm always attracted to things that are rusty and weathered.
Sort of like Ron.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
gonna say it.
Or like Ron. Okay.
Yeah.
You said rusty, not crusty.
This was another image from our Guadalupe field trip. I always like reflections when they add some confusion, and I thought this was a real confusion and what was reality and what was reflection. So
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
That's good.
I like that green wall with the red, whatever it is.
yeah,
Sizzle it.
Yeah.
keep clear. I like to keep clear. This is a danger zone. And then
Speaking of keeping clear.
I met these weird derelicts that were roaming the street. One of them took their mask right off. Look at that. And but yeah, you could see that the streets were fairly empty. This is when we went to Hosner Road. No, I think this one is actually when we went to several places to photograph the comet. This one was the night that we went to Figueroa Mountain. And when we got there, we realized that the comet was probably going to be behind the big hill in front of us. And so we drove down to Figueroa Road until we got low enough, and there wasn't a lot of foreground there, but we could see the comet. So we photographed it there.
Cool.
And then we went to Carrizo Plains, and our app said there was going to be zero clouds. And then as we got closer and closer, we could see that there was going to be a lot of clouds there. And we almost turned around and left, but we thought, hey, we're here. We've never been here in summer. Let's just see what it's going to be like. And it turned out to be a beautiful sunset, really pretty.
Mm.
And then we decided that, the clouds were moving enough. We might be able to see the comet in between the clouds. And we did actually get to see the comet there.
You saw the comet with all those clouds?
We did, and I photographed it, but these are not in order, I don't think. So it will come up here sooner or later.
Nice
Maybe.
sunset, though. Beautifully captured.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a different world out there at night. I've never spent a lot of time out there at night, but I had never seen a kit fox. And while we were there, we saw a kit fox. We saw several owls. Kangaroo rats were jumping all around my feet. It was very cool out there. Really nice. I was very excited to see a kit fox. Of course, there was no photographing it, but I can say I saw one now.
I said the fox one. I thought I saw it.
She just talked about it. She
Oh,
didn't.
I saw this. I'm sorry.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, there it is. That's in Carrizo Plains. As the comet, the clouds moved, you could get peaks of the comet, and it added a little bit of interest because there was nothing else where we were to put in the foreground.
Cool.
Nice.
Thank you. And then we went back to Carrizo Plains another night, and there was no clouds on that night. We had a nice clear sky, and we did a little bit of the Milky Way. My main focus was on the comet, since I'm never going to get to see that one again, but we did do a little Milky Way also.
That's a nice image. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know what the white star is in the upper left?
Yeah, that was, I think it was Jupiter, was one of the
Yeah.
planets.
It's
And
Jupiter.
it's not very good right at the edge of the frame. I probably should take it out, but
Or move it?
yeah, it's accurate. That's where it was. Oh, here we are back to our Guadalupe field trip. We had problems getting into the beach. We drove there, and as we got to the gate, they were not letting anybody in until somebody came out. And so we were in front of the line and waited for the rest of the group to see what they wanted to do. And one by one, we all kind of decided to leave. But just as we were about ready to leave, somebody came out, so we decided to go in. And it wasn't very exciting, really, but there was some surfers out there, and this is one of them.
You were using what lens on that?
That was my 70 to 400,
Okay.
and I have cropped it in considerably. It was out there pretty far. And I walked over to where the river meets the ocean, and a avocet flew in and visited with me for a very brief time, but I managed to get a couple of shots.
What's the name of that bird?
It's an avocet.
Avocet?
Avocet.
Avocet.
Yeah, it's
Not an avocado, an avocet.
Avocet. AVOCET.
Yes.
Avocet.
Beautiful, Elaine, beautiful.
I think it's interesting that its bill curves up and not down.
Yes, yeah. And they're a lot more colorful during this time of the year. There are times of the year where they're a little bit more drab, but I've always liked them.
Nice crisp shot.
Thank you.
I'm sure one of our judges would tell us that your horizon wasn't level.
I know, don't.
Even though the bird is, they tell us the horizon's not level.
That's the river, isn't it?
Well, it's not, it's the, he's standing on a slope on a hill going down into the river area.
Doesn't matter. They'll still tell you the horizon's not level.
But I like it. I think it adds interest.
Yeah, I like it the way it is.
And then we actually went to Morro Bay 2 times to photograph the comet. And I mean, when you hear that there's going to be no marine layer and the skies are going to be clear in Morro Bay, and there's a comet in the sky, you decide, well, drop everything and just go. So that's what we did 2 times.
Nice shot.
Super.
Yeah, that was good.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
I like how you got the reflection of the rock.
Yeah. Well, the first time I went, I was the first I photographed the comet, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I had my 70 to 400 lens, so the widest I could be was 70 millimeters, and I didn't get the whole reflection. But this was the second time, so I brought a wide angle.
Is this a single exposure or multiple?
This is a single exposure. I have the best lens ever for night photography. It goes to 1.4 and 1.6. This is probably at 1.6 or 1.8. And what I do is I try to keep my exposure time down to 8 seconds or less so that my stars are not trailing. With that focal length, you can get away with a little bit longer, but you know, if I have my 16 millimeter lens, I can go up to 15 seconds, but of course it's like f4 at the widest.
Do you remember what time of day this was?
This was about 9:30.
Okay, so the foreground is actually lighter than.
Oh yeah, I
conceptual.
couldn't see this with my eyes. With my eyes, it was very dark and hard to focus. I focused before it got dark, and with the boats moving a little bit, I also needed the 8 second, you know, not too long. I had some images where there's a man standing on a pier, and I thought that was cool too, but he was moving just a little bit. This was the comet the night we went to Hosner Road on our field trip. And I decided to get the road in there. Again, we couldn't see this with our eyes, but.
Yeah, the camera saw it.
Neat.
That's it.
Cool. Hey,
Cool.
talk about
Nice.
seeing stuff, the camera sees stuff that you can't see with your eyes. We were at Death Valley, it was a few years ago, and we took a hike in the middle of the night down toward, I guess it was Manly Beacon, from the summit there, the what's that viewpoint called? Zabriskie. We
Zabriskie.
hiked down from Zabriskie, and I stopped and made a photograph. There was, I think when I made the photograph, there was no moon up yet. It was pretty dark, and it was a long exposure. And then I looked on the back of the camera. There's all this color that I couldn't see in the dark. And wow, that was pretty cool. So I ended up making quite a few pictures, and I got several that I liked out there. But it was, yeah, the camera sees, particularly with the color.
Yeah.
Because you only got a little small piece of your eye that responds to color, and the camera, the whole thing, if it's working properly, cough cough, the whole thing responds to color, and you get stuff, and it's pretty cool. I was pleased with it.
What surprised me was how much difference there is between the 2.8 and a 1.8. You wouldn't think it would be that much difference, but it's a huge difference on what you can get away with.
It's a little over a full stop.
Yeah, and that
About one and a
it
half stops, I think.
makes a difference.
What's 1.8, 2, 2.2, 2.4?
Yeah, and mine goes to 1.4, but depending on what your foreground is, you start, it's hard to get everything focused.
What lens is that?
It's the Sony, it's a 24 millimeter lens. It's not a zoom, it's just plain 24 millimeter, but it goes from 1.4 to whatever. And I love that lens. It's sharp edge to edge, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's very reasonable for that quality. If you want to do a lot of night photography, that's the lens to have. But then again, sometimes you want a wider lens. But I'm happy with the 24 millimeter. If I need it to be wider, I tend to do panos.
Sony just released.
Sorry, I'll shut up now so someone else can talk.
Sony just released it's a 12 to 24, 1.8 G Master. That's supposed to be awesome. All the reviews I've seen on it, but it's $3,000 for the lens.
It's a 1.8.
Yep.
Wow, that's some kick-ass action there. I've got the Canon 11 to 24, and it's a beast, and it's only an f4.
Yeah, mine goes to 1.6. No, 1.4. 1.4, 1.6, and 1.8.
Yeah, well, the zoom, the 11-24 zoom that Canon makes, I'm happy with the lens, but it's an f4. I don't know how. I'd like to see that 1.8, 12 to 24. That's awesome.
I've got a lens that's a 0.9.
I've seen a 0.95.
New truck.
How long is it and what does it weigh?
It's a 58 millimeter. It's a Petzval lens.
I think the one I saw was a 55.95. I think it was a Canon back in the day, but I don't. It could have been anybody. I'm not sure. It was a 0.95.
When we were out at Wasna, I was shooting the Neowise Comet with a 400, well, actually a 560 millimeter lens.
Oh.
And so this is a composite. This is pretty much looking the same way that Elaine's image was with that one particular oak tree there, but that tree was taken prior. And then I did a composite and had to scale the Comet in to make it work. I did like the final appearance of it.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
If it looks good, it is good.
Yeah, I like the golden color of the comet against the cooler sky too.
Yeah, I had to play with that, but that's what you get, This is the blue moon rising over Soda Lake.
Nice.
So what night did you do that, Greg?
Jim, when were we out there?
It was a couple months ago. I don't remember the date.
Yeah, we planned it wrong. We got there really about 45 minutes to an hour after we wanted to be there. And we wanted to have a little more sun than we had with more golden, and what we got was a blue sky with peach.
Yeah.
And in this case, I lowered the moon. It was much higher in the sky.
Yeah.
No, you raised the sky.
Okay. I lowered the moon.
Not the moon.
I took out about 1.5 inches of the sky between the moon and the horizon.
It's turning Earth.
This is an image I took in 2017 in my backyard when the fires were burning like crazy and our skies were full of smoke.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the full moon. And when we went out to Wasna, I advised everybody take off any filters you have on the front of your lenses. And you see the ghost moon down in the bottom?
Yeah.
That's why you take the filters off. Because that bright object comes in and bounces off the super coating on your lens and reflects back on the inside of your filter.
Yeah.
And so you get these ghosts. Now, it's an interesting effect if you want it, but you know, it's just highlights why you remove those filters when you do night photography. This was the blue moon eclipse that rose in 2018. The eclipse was sometime after midnight or something. This was as it was rising. And this is on my front porch, looking over the neighbor's roof.
Oh.
This is Jupiter and its 4 moons.
Really?
That I captured when we were in Wasna to watch the comet. And this was a 560 millimeter.
Wow.
And I was dumbfounded that I got this.
I didn't think you could. How much did you zoom in?
That is all the way out, 560 millimeters.
But I mean, did you crop the image?
Oh yeah, this image has been cropped probably 75%.
That is crazy. I didn't think we could.
You got that at Wasna?
We got this at Wasna that night that we were doing the Neowise comet.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was the opposite direction, you know, focusing above in towards the Milky Way. And my neighbors who were with me, they're both physicists and they like astronomy. And she says, "Greg, I think I can see the moons with the binoculars. Can you get it with your camera?" I said, I don't think so. but that's what I got.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is,
I was dumbfounded.
Cool shot.
So as I walk around the neighborhood, this is my snipe hunt that I do when I do my morning walks around. I carry my camera with me, and we have a family of great horned owls. And this is just, I find them all the time sitting in the trees during the day.
oh, cool.
That is cool.
This is this year's chicks.
Oh.
They're sitting, they sat in this tree for 5 days and never moved.
Wow.
Their mother comes and feeds them. And they're spoiled. They're welfare students. They're just sitting there. But look at the eyes on them.
Yeah.
The one on the right looks scared.
Yeah, he's like, what the?
We've been discovered. Oh no, mom.
But you need this was a 300 millimeter lens, and they're deep in the shadows up in the eucalyptus trees. You have to know how to find them before you can take a picture of them.
Well, don't they?
Well, that's mine.
My neighbor invited me across the street a couple of weeks ago to take pictures of the owls that landed in her backyard. So that was really fun. There were 3 of them that hung around for a little while.
Well, when we first moved here, we had 3 nesting pairs, and they would produce a couple of chicks each every year. And that was 19 years ago. Now there's only 1 nesting pair.
Oh.
Well, they're just, they keep building homes and clearing land, and there's just not enough food for them.
Yeah.
Where do you live, Greg?
I live near Penny and Ed.
Oh, in Napomo.
In Napomo and Mesa and Charraway.
Okay.
West Mesa Road.
We had an owl hanging around our yard right now. We have a rodent problem, so we definitely need an owl to come visit.
They do eat a lot of rodents, but they will eat the great horns will eat almost anything. They're omnivores. They'll eat snakes, bugs, small dogs, skunks.
Small dogs.
Any rodent they can catch.
Mm-hmm.
But they apparently don't like fish.
How small of a dog will they eat? Or how big?
It's like a toy Yorkshire Terrier.
Oh, Yorkie.
Not like my size dog. Where's little bit?
He ran away.
Size of the bird. If they think they can get it, one of my neighbors had a doxy that was fairly good size, and the owls tried to carry it away.
It says I hear that.
My son lost his cat a couple months ago, and they don't know how to get it. But
That's a little big for a great horned owl, but not much.
I don't know.
Watch out,
Something
little
got it
bit.
at night. It got out, and
A little bit.
I hear them outside of my. We have a bunch of eucalyptus trees outside my backyard, and we hear them there, and also hear the barn owls. They're really scary sounding.
Yeah. The babies, when they're hungry at night, they're sitting near sundowns, they start screeching, "Feed me!" So, who wants to show next?
Let me show something first. I'm not a photo, but can you see this?
Yeah.
That's all lens.
That's the Petsfall lens. It's a brass housing, and this thing right here is the focus. So it's all manual focus, and this right here. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Mm-hmm.
This thing right down here is an f1.9 f-stop, and what you do is right here there's a slot that you put these different f-stops into. So you manually insert the f-stop ring, and then you manually focus. And this lens was designed in 1840 by a Hungarian mathematician named Petsfall. And at the time, it was the fastest lens available, and they used it for portraits.
What does it fit on?
This one fits on my Canon, on my 5D. It's got a Canon mount for it.
Okay.
You can get it for Nikon also, and probably other ones. And this is number 3689. So I have the 3689 lens ever produced.
that's
That
pretty
was
cool.
number one.
Do you use it?
Yeah. I've used it quite a bit. The reason I don't use it more is it's completely manual. So and it's got a very small sweet spot on it. So you really have to be right on, and it's manual focus, and my eye's just not good enough to get a sharp focus most of the time. When I do, it's pure luck. So. But I like blurry images anyway, so.
That's how you get your blurry images.
It involves lots of wine.
Yeah, I see better then.
Well, I have some images I'd like to share.
Okay.
This is just my learning experience.
Oh, not the drone.
She missed the drone.
Oh, I'll have to take some more pictures with it. Let me see.
You don't want the drone. They're so boring.
It just
You don't like my
on
drone?
and on.
Drones are cool.
Drone sounds like a
They're
drone.
nice to play with, but the photos are usually pretty boring.
Okay, so how do I do this? Can I share my screen somehow?
Yeah, down at the bottom, there's a little there's circles at the bottom. There should be.
You have to move your
Should be the
cursor.
third
It's
one
all
that
up here.
says share content.
Share content. There it is. Okay. Screen share. Okay.
There.
I'm just showing some from out at Huazna. I haven't really done anything with these, except I just barely looked at them. And
and stayed out until midnight after everybody was gone.
Because my husband wanted to see the comet hit the horizon. So we had to stay.
That's it.
It was almost there when we left. So
Yeah. Well,
except somebody kept putting the car lights on.
I wonder who that was, Ron.
But that one turned out very nice, Jeannie.
This is what I mostly got, and I have to thank Ron and Elaine for their tips on helping me to figure out how to do this because I was pretty lost.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
So this is mostly what I was shooting during the night, and then this car comes and lights up part of that scene. I kind of like that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. It's not too bad.
And then I tried zooming in later as the comet was getting lower, and then Ken's going, well, get it hitting the horizon. So I just took a few more.
So move to the right. Move to the right. Get it right in that.
Oh yeah, look at that. I like this one here. That's nice.
Did you guys get in your car and chase to see where it crashed into the earth? Might have been a pot of gold there.
We found the fire. Yes, we did.
It's gonna light the tree on fire. There's a fire.
So I got this. This one's got to be Ken's favorite. It's touching the thing.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then the other night we went to where were we at?
The dog beach.
Dog Beach at Avila, and I was just kind of, enjoying the camera bag and not really paying attention. I'm going, oh, I'm not going to be able to get anything. I kind of forgot that I was there to see the moonrise. And all of a sudden Ken says, the moon's rising. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm pulling my camera out. And this is the first shot I got. I'm like, oh my gosh. There's my next one. I'm going, okay, now what do I need to do? The moon keeps rising. I'm like, okay, I need more exposure, and I'll put two together. So here's an overexposed one, and
but that moon is huge. It's a big moon.
Yeah.
And it's not round.
Huh?
It's not round. It looks like somebody squashed it.
I know.
The cheese was melting.
I'm not sure what the deal was on that. Let's see. That was taken.
How long was your exposure?
I took it at 1/60th of a second with a 5.6 f/6, 329 millimeter, 8,000. So 1/60th of a second should have, frozen the action pretty well, right? So
yeah, it might be.
Every time a car came along, our camera. So I was taking it from inside the car, inside the van. I think that was part of the problem. So these are all my shots that didn't work. This one I added some extra light in Lightroom to kind of just see what's there. And then I just, kept rising. I just kept taking pictures. And then I said, okay, I'm going to put on the crazy zoom, and this one is 1200 millimeter. I have a 600 with a 2x on it, so I was able to get a pretty good shot of the moon. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to put the moon onto this shot. So if you don't look at the thing in the middle, just look at the moon. Really is way up high there, and then the boats are down there. So I thought, I'm going to move the moon down. I'm going to add a moon on top of it, a better resolution moon. And then I ran out of time. So I don't know. I'm thinking about playing around with this and cutting off the top part and trying to make it look like the moon was actually lower. I could use some advice on help when trying to figure out how to do this. If anyone wants to advise me.
You need to ask Greg, because didn't he do that on one of his photos?
I've actually done that in several of my photos where I lowered the moon in the sky. And you have to do an effective blending mode when you do that, because especially, well, in when it's dark like this, it's probably not too big a problem. But during the day, when you got blue sky and you've got that gradient of color shades, when you
Yeah, so
if you slice out a big chunk of the sky and try and lower the sky to sit on top of it, you get the really dark blue sitting on a paler blue, or vice versa. So if you choose the right blending mode, and then
I was trying it on I was trying it on Lighten, which I don't know that I have that blending mode on right now. But
well, you can try Lighten, you can try darker. It all depends on which way you have to go, and then adjust the opacity.
And then how I stick the better resolution moon on top. See, I don't know. Right now it doesn't look real.
No, it doesn't.
I guess I just got to play with it some more. I just ran out.
I think the challenge is that you just want to put in the new moon, the high resolution moon, and not overlay it on top of the really over bright moon.
Yeah, the halo around the moon kind of throws off the brightness.
Right.
Yeah, you really can't do that.
Than the halo.
Yeah, that halo is going to cause you problems too.
I could be wrong.
But shrunk the halo, because otherwise it seemed like kind of funny to have the moon without having light behind it to show that the light is shining on the reason why there's light on the water.
Well, you can do that by lightening the dark moon itself.
Okay, well, look at that.
You're overlaying it like that, you're just going to get that huge halo effect, and it's not going to look natural.
It doesn't. No. Okay, and let's see. So here's kind of the shot that I took that from before I put all that extra lightning in there. Or yeah, that's about the same shot, but that's kind of my original there. Which, I don't know, I kind of like that, but it's like Greg shot earlier, there's too much sky with nothing going on. So maybe
as Chuck Jennings said our last competition, there's too much empty space.
Yeah.
That's right. No,
he said negative.
Negative space. Okay.
Negative.
Positive. Okay, that's it for me. I'm just fooling around. I haven't really done much with those, but I started to work on them. I appreciate the advice. Thank you.
Yep. Unshare.
Unshare? Okay.
Unshare.
Okay.
Up the top of your screen.
Okay.
Top center. Go up. Top center, and the menu bar should drop down from the top. All the way up top.
Oh.
In the center. You should.
I'm not even on. Where'd it go? I'm not even on that anymore. Okay, there's it. Okay. You're sharing your screen. Okay, stop sharing. There it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, phew.
I'll go next if.
Sure.
I just have a one night shop, but I was at a up at the we have a cafe. I saw that and I thought of you, so I had to take a picture of that.
Is that your Jeannie? Is that your man trap?
How do you think I got my husband?
Took me up there. I didn't know. I thought it was a fake thing.
Why he limps?
We've got a family cabin up in the Sierras that my grandparents built in '48, and we got a letter from the Forest Service saying that we need to do some work on it. So I went up there to this is the cabin, and I knew they had a flood there, so I knew there was no water, and I found that the pipes broke, so I got to get that fixed. And then I found out that the propane line broke, so I was up there for a couple of days without water, without propane for lights and cooking. So it was a lot of fun. So I brought out the kerosene lanterns. I luckily brought up some kerosene because some of them were empty. One of the main things that I had to do was paint the outhouse. The Forest Service said it needed to be painted. So that's before and that's after.
Does it smell any better?
No, it still stinks.
Smells like fresh paint.
It's the throne room.
Yeah. They were cutting down a whole bunch of dead tree or diseased trees around our property, and this guy was climbing the tree to attach the ropes to pull the tree down once they cut the thing. I have a couple of videos of them cutting some trees, but they were all neighbors. This is a shot from our backyard. This is the lake where we have the cabin, Silver Lake, Thunder Mountain background. Our cabin is way in the far back. You can see my cursor, but there. And then I did. There's no clouds. I went out and took some night shots, and this was one of the night shots that I shot. This cabin here, we called the coffin cabin, because the original owner who built it was owned a mortuary, and he used to build his own coffins, and he got all the wood from the scrap woods that he lumbered, I guess. So it's, that's why we call it the coffin cabin.
Nice.
I'm surprised they let him build the outhouse that close to the lake shore.
Well, this was probably built in the 40s or 30s, and I'm not even sure how he would have it built, because it's all granite rock right there.
Exactly. I'm looking at him and I go, it's going to drain straight to the lake.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He might have something special for composting it or something, but yeah, that is close. But anyway, that's all I have. I got some other shots, but like I said, I just got home today and haven't had time to really go through them and look at them. But
well, I really like this shot. The exposure is fabulous.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, that shot.
Good.
Yeah.
I was going to do a little light painting with a flashlight, but the people were in the cabin.
They might shot you.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what's this guy out there waving a flashlight around? So
Yeah,
I just
it's
had.
nice.
It was a full moon, so it really lit up the place nicely.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot.
Thanks.
It looks like a really nice site. Nice place to be.
Yeah, it's really nice. We're thinking of selling our place because it's just a little too far for all of us. And since my dad passed away and my mom's got Alzheimer's now, it's just hard for all us kids, to take care of the place and spend the money. We don't actually own the land. It's on Forest Service land, so we have a 99-year lease on it.
Right.
We have to, permit fees and all sorts of stuff. And of course, the Forest Service comes in every year and tells you what you have to do. It's the mother of all HOAs. So, anyway, that's it for me. Turn it off.
Nice feet, Cheryl.
Oh, Greg, you're just on your web camera.
Yeah, I think the battery died.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Well, I'll show you something.
Uh-oh.
So I'll show you some photos from Iceland. The first things that I ever did at night, so they're not great, but it'd be show you what it looks like to see an aurora. Let me see if I can bring that up. Let me assume this was before, but
I always wanted to see one of those.
Yeah. So, and then let's see, where are we going to go from here? Here's another one you can see. It's really not in focus, but the colors are pretty cool on it.
It does. Now, can you see that with your naked eye, or is that?
No, well, actually, it took me a long time before I could see an aurora. I was expecting colors from all the photos that I've seen,
Mhm.
but it's white. You know, it's the camera that picks up the colors. At least for me, my eyes never, I never saw any of these colors by you know, with the naked eye. This is a place where we stayed. And this is another example of an aurora. You know, they can be multicolored. Sometimes they're purple, sometimes they're reds, yellows. Here's another shot that, like the first one, the same place, different aurora. And the light over here, can you see my?
Mhm.
Yeah, this was about 3 in the morning, and we'd gotten up. I at that time I'd been up for about 26 hours, and some guy was coming out on this road. That's his headlights.
Wow.
There, that's it on that. And then
Way over there. this
this one here of what this is a little movie of what it sounds like and looks like for some of these geysers. How's it going to come up? Well, it came up before. Ah, there you go. So that's just the sound of the geyser.
That's a geyser?
Yeah, there's a geyser coming out. There's a lot of wind, so it's blowing the smoke. You'll see the geyser here in a minute on the left-hand side.
Jim, the next time you want to share video, you need, when you do share, there's an option there to switch to video.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise it doesn't manage sound and the optical correctly.
Okay. Well, the optical's pretty much the way it is. I mean, this is just a really bad first shot at making a video with my digital camera.
Yeah.
So, and then the other one is this one is one that I made when we were out at Wasna the last time on what was it, a Sunday a couple weeks ago. So anyway, that's it.
Gray card, right?
I'm sorry?
That's your gray card we're looking at now. That's
Not seeing anything, Jim.
Oh, you're not seeing anything?
No.
Oh,
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why that is. Well, I don't know. It says you're not sharing. Hang on. I'm sharing here. Okay, let's try it again. Should be this one here. Can you see that now?
Yeah.
Yes or no? I didn't.
Yes, we got it.
Okay.
I don't know why.
And there's a shooting star up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Wow, there's a lot of color in there.
Yeah. So that's it. Stop sharing.
Thank you. That was.
So I'll show you one more. I've been Ron and Elaine kind of inspired me, so I got some LED studio lights, and I've been messing around with still life stuff. So this is just a first shot. Let me see here. I think it's, where is it? Oh, must be this one. Wait a minute. Let me stop sharing, and then somebody else wants to talk. I'll see if I can get the right thing up here. Oh, here we are.
Tony, you have inspired Ron to start scanning like crazy. He's been taking pictures of his negatives and Yeah.
Works well.
Okay, I'm up. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So this one, I just started out with, come on, I'll turn these off. I just started off with that, basically. And then what I did is I added a couple texture layers. And then what I did to get to make it look like it's sitting on something, I added this fill layer here. And there's something really interesting in Photoshop SMCC 2020. It's called select object.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's see, where is it now? Maybe it's right here. Well, I can't remember where it is now.
Go select your selection tool, and then it'll come up above on the select one of those tools, either one, quick select or magic wand.
No, that's not it. That's not it. There's an actual.
I know, but it'll give you the select and mask or select.
Right. No, that's what I'm not what I'm talking about. I can't find it now.
Jim, at the bottom of the toolbar where the 3 dots are, I think it's under that.
Well, what right here?
Yeah. No.
No. I had it here. It's under one of these. Maybe.
Asshole.
Well, let's see. I thought it was.
Yeah, there's select tool, and then there's select object and select object.
Right. Select object is what I want. But I'm not seeing it now. I've lost it someplace.
Is it under just select on top?
Right here? Oh, you mean
Top on
up here.
toolbar. Yeah.
No, it's not there. Because
you're just on the color layer.
Oh, I know. I'm on my laptop and I don't have CC 2020. That's why. But the thing that's really nice about it is that I could just, for example, with the select, you can get like a rectangle. I could just select this little part right here, and it would select just that and eliminate all the background around it. And so that's what I did for this.
Okay.
I selected, and you see the mask over here. I don't know if you can see it well enough, but you can see this little black piece down here.
Yeah.
That's where I did the selection and then masked out the bottom here, the table. But anyway, it's a pretty, if you got CC 2020, it's a pretty cool thing. It saves you a lot of time, and it's pretty accurate. So
yeah, it does a really fabulous job.
Yeah, it really does. So anyway, unfortunately I don't have CC 2020, so not going to be a very good demo. Okay, let's see.
But that's interesting to see how you can, build the base for it.
Yeah, well, this is just a fill layer. If you go up to layer and you do a new fill layer, you choose. You know how to do this. You just choose a solid color, and then you can select the color you want. That type of thing. And then you can put a mask on it, like I did, to just get the bottom here.
Yeah.
So. Okay, let's see. Stop sharing. Okay.
Ron's got his setup there. I can see.
Say what?
Ron's got his setup for copying his negs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing I just found out, with the Sony, with the newer ones anyway, and with the Image Edge software right to your computer.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can control the camera, and then you can also set it up where it will automatically load it up in the Lightroom for you.
Yep. Yep.
So what's nice is being able to click on the computer and do the manual focus on these negatives. You can find all the dirt and grime and stuff on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it works well though.
What software are you using? You're using it on a regular printer scanner or something else?
The camera's connected to my computer, and the Image Edge software that comes with your Sony cameras, and you can set it up for tethering, so you can see the image right on the computer, and
into a watch folder and then Lightroom.
Yep. So you.
You're scanning film negatives.
Yeah.
And, well, during the breakfast, they talked about instead of using a scanner, he was sharing with us how he was scanning his negatives. Was instead of using a scanner, he was actually taking a photo of them on a light box.
Oh,
that's what Ron has.
Arts industry's done for years to make enlargements.
Yeah.
They rephotographed everything.
So Ron's been doing that. He scanned things previously, but it's just a different way of doing it, and it's
much
fast. It's much faster. And Ron said the problem he was having was it was almost too sharp, and you could see way too much grain.
because I would like to do something like that eventually with some of my negatives.
Yeah, it worked really well. Yeah, we had a good meeting. Tony shared a lot of cool stuff with us. So,
Jeannie, I did a cheat sheet for the How Photographers Think Club. I'll email it to you.
Oh, wonderful! That's great.
That's it.
Why don't you put it in the galleon?
Is that Negs? Is that the same thing as?
Yeah, that's the same thing that was one I made.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I can send it to, and it can go in the galleon next time. But
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
a copy directly.
Yeah, Tony, if you send to me next time, it will be on the galleon. I really like.
Yeah,
and maybe I'll get my article written about how to use a drone on scanning your different negatives and other treasured photos.
Yeah.
Okay. That's wonderful.
I'd love to see that one. I'll help you. I'll make a demonstration with it.
Okay.
So there's another thing I was going to mention. When you do certain things in Photoshop, like when you crop an image, so then it renames your background to layer 0.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, that you can in Photoshop on the layers menu up at the top, there's under layers there's a new, and then if you choose new, it says background from layer. And if you choose that, now what was called layer 0 becomes a real background layer. But the thing that I found interesting, you can save as several hundred megabytes when you do that, which I don't know the reason for that. But if you look at the size of your file, when you create a background from when you create the background using that method, I've saved 30 to 150 megabytes in file size.
Yeah. Ron, did you do any of the polarized plastic things?
Not yet.
oh no, we haven't had a chance to try that yet.
Yeah.
That was cool too. Very cool.
You just look around for plastic objects like, school geometry squares and things like that.
I did it actually one time, and I don't think I was using. Maybe I did have a polarizer. I mean, I didn't connect it to the polarizer. I didn't know why I was getting it, but I photographed a Subway water cup from the Subway sandwich store, and it had that effect, and it was really cool. But maybe I did have a polarizer. I didn't think I did. I think the water was making like a magnifying glass. Yeah.
That's the effect.
Yeah, see, mine didn't have any, it wasn't exactly like that. I think mine was from the water. I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I actually put that on Facebook and I called it 2.5 inches. And my wife said, "Don't sell yourself short."
You should always do that in millimeters.
That's right. Well, this is one of those plastic inserts that comes with CDs, you know, to stop it getting scratched in the box. Anyway.
How'd you do that effect?
You're polarizing a polarizer on the lens of the camera, and you need a polarizer underneath the object. But for instance, if you use, say, an iPad, the light that's coming out of the iPad is polarized. So you just want a blank white iPad, put your object on it, put the polarizer on the camera, and as you turn it, it'll go from light to dark. And let me see. I can show you. That.
Oh.
Pair of plastic spoons sitting on an old iPad I've got with a polarizer on the camera.
Tony, you can do the same with LSD.
Yeah, but that's more expensive.
Yeah, so.
And your iPad was just a white screen.
Yeah, what I did was I opened up Photoshop and made a new document, 8 by 10 or whatever, just pure white background, saved it as a JPEG, imported it into the photos of the iPad, and when you open it, turn the screen brightness right up. So, and that's what happens. As you rotate the polarizer on the camera, the bright white background of the iPad goes from white to grey to black, and the colours change in whatever you've got on there. So, just messing with something I could do without using a walking stick.
Oh, very good.
I was trying to decide if Cheryl's still alive, but then I see her feet is.
I think Cheryl's working really hard these days, and she's got exams or something. Poor thing.
Yeah.
Well, we do have a competition coming up too, so we don't want to forget that in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Tony, your video's off, Tony.
Oh, Tony, no, I can't see him. Hiding. There he is.
I don't know why it turned me off when I shared the screen. It turned my video off. So it was just one of those things.
You're back.
I'm back. I'm on the right track.
Do we maybe want to talk about doing an official field trip then next week for the meteor shower?
Yeah.
Before we all say goodbye, to not forget about that. So what would be the preferred place to go for those that are interested to go further out, say to the Carrizo Plains? I could see just staying the night out there. There's a campground and Ed and I have our camper, but I know others that would be going out. It's a long drive back after being out all night. I'm not sure what time the shower is best, but I heard it was in the morning, not in the evening.
How long of a drive is it to Carrizo Plains?
What's that?
Is it about a 2-hour drive, or I forget how long the drive is?
I
Yes.
remember at least a couple hours, right? Right, Jim?
Yeah, I think it's at least 2.
Yeah.
I wasn't keeping track, but of the time, but it was a long drive.
Depends if you go 166 in the
Yeah, but
south end or the
Even if you go the other way, it's still an hour and a half minimum to either entry point. And then if you want to go into the middle, it's another half an hour to get to the middle.
yeah, depends if you're starting from San Luis Obispo or Santa Maria.
Right.
But
what was it? The 58 is the other?
Yes.
58.
You go 101 to 58 Santa Margarita.
can't
Right.
hear you, Ron. You're not coming through somehow.
The 58 is the better road. You know, if you go out 166, you're going to have quite a bit of dirt road.
Yeah.
Dirt road, yeah.
And, you know, at night, that might not be what you want to do.
We went off-roading at night. We went off of the main dirt road onto a side dirt road up in the hills, and I was a little
And your
concerned
car-
about that in the dark, but it wasn't.
So did Jim and I.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
It added quite the adventure in about an extra hour to get to our destination.
The concern I
Because you're
have,
like 15 miles an hour on this washed out. What they jokingly call a road is really a cattle track.
well, and what you need to be concerned about and think about is the road that we were on actually had grass growing pretty high in the center, and we didn't want to start a fire.
The other thing is, the other thing is there's no GPS out there.
No cellular service, nothing.
Right. And so, especially at night, you could get out there and be lost because there's no way you know which way you're going when the.
Jim, I need to correct you. GPS is working. GPS is independent of cellular.
Okay.
You don't have any cellular service out there.
Right.
If you've got maps on your computer, on your cell phone, it'll use them.
When we were up at Selby Rocks, we had 1 bar. So you did have cellular service. I kept getting notifications.
How do you?
Well, it
GPS?
sounds like that maybe that would be one
GPS
to-
is satellite based. It has nothing to do with your cellular service.
Okay.
Sounds like the planes then would be to cross that one out just because it's hard to meet up.
Especially if the meters aren't there until 2 and 3 in the morning.
What we heard was you're going to be able to see meteors probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock. You're going to see quite a few meteors, but you have more concentration of meteors
A little later.
like at 1, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. It's going to be more showers, but they said that it should still be good and you should still see them in the evening as well.
And at the top of Tepisque, is that going to be dark enough?
It should be.
I think so.
Perseus is in the northeast sky.
Yeah.
Is Wasna Road not a good area? Would that work?
Well, we've been just going out there. I was trying to think of a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Wasna would work, and Wasna is only about 45 minutes from Napomo.
I mean, that's.
I'd like a different background though than was because we just did that. So I think Tepisque maybe would be interesting or some other place. But I'd like to.
Yeah, that was my thinking too, is to have a different place to go.
Yeah.
Halama Beach.
Well, I took some Milky Way shots out at on Fox and Canyon, and it's nice and dark out there, and nice view too. A little different scenery.
Mm-hmm.
Whereabouts on Fox and?
One area was over between Firestone and the 154. Then there's also a large pasture out north of West Parker Winery, just before the turnoff to Zaka Lake.
The only thing that's bad about the overlook of Firestone is I went up there for the Neowise. There were at least 50 cars up there. So a lot of
One night I went up there and there were 3 or 4 cars, and another night I went up there and there was no. So I guess it's a hit and miss. But out there by that one, shoot, I'm trying to think of the vineyard that's out there, Demetria.
Yeah, right at the
And
top.
there's nothing out there. I mean, it was so dark. I took my grandson and I couldn't see him 2 feet away.
Wow.
Yeah, right across from Demetria is a very nice pasture area.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Walk
talking about.
out there. I've taken photos out there before, and probably that's a nice area, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not too far if you live in Santa Maria or Orchid, like I do. I mean, that's
Okay.
an hour drive or so.
So you think there's space for, say, 6 cars?
Yeah, along the road. Yeah.
Yeah, off the side of the road.
Off the side of the road. As long as it's not the winter and it's raining, it's firm ground out there. You're not going to sink in.
Okay. I think that sounds good. I'd like to try something besides Wasna, just for a different change of pace. And what kind of foreground would be there?
Well, there's oak trees and then mountains in the background, but it's
Okay.
a pasture, so it's fairly open too.
All right. No
Very
fencing?
large pasture with mountains in the background.
You'd be parking right along the fence, or the barbed wire fence, so you could easily, put your
Slide.
camera above the fence or through the fence.
Okay. How about that? Does everybody like that idea?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
So the landmark for that is, if you're trying to find it, Demetria Winery is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Right where that
We should have some instructions written down and emailed, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can either access it from Elisa's Canyon Road or from Zaka Station Road to get onto Fox and Canyon there.
So it's that winery end of it. Okay. Elisa Canyon, or what was the other one you mentioned, Frank?
Zaka Station.
Yeah.
That's right off the 154.
Right.
Right.
It's just a quick left when you come off the 101.
Liesel Canyon's that off the 101?
Yeah, you go down 101.
That's just south of Los Alamos.
Right.
Yeah.
Frank, could you write directions that, like you go 2 miles and you turn here, and you go 3 miles, you turn there, whatever. So that we know just exactly where we're going.
Check the miles.
Approximately.
It's 3.2 miles and then 4.56 miles.
Unless you're driving in the dark, in which case.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're driving in the dark, it's probably best to come up Zaka Station, because then you'll be on the right side of the road to take the photographs instead of trying to make a U-turn somewhere along the
Well, do we plan to meet someplace beforehand and kind of carpool up there?
Well, Los Olivos, we could meet in Los Olivos because it's just a couple miles down 154.
Well, that
you
makes
just
sense.
take
What
the
if we
hump
did
of
that?
Fox and Canyon over from Los Olivos.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does that sound to everybody? Meeting
Good.
Los Olivos, they probably have some takeout food, maybe.
Yeah.
And we could sit around in a big circle and enjoy our meal together. Okay, so I think that was good to me. So meet in Los Olivos. Usually we meet at the flagpole.
The flagpole's good.
And
Bring a flag.
and get up to the place then before it's dark, so that we know where we are.
Right.
What time would we meet there then?
I'd have to think
Midnight.
about it. Probably meet around 7.
Maybe 8 o'clock, because I mean, well, no.
We'd want to be there when there's still some light.
Yeah, and not only that, we're talking about
Find a
eating,
place
so.
So 7 p.m. Give us plenty of time to get up there. And if the news that I read said that the best was on the 12th, I don't know if it's the 11th or the 12th that we'd be there in the evening.
I read the 12th.
You read the 12th too?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll make it the 12th. Okay, look at that. It sounds pretty easy, and I'll see if Demetria Winery has directions to their winery that we could kind of use.
Yeah.
Would we actually be on winery property or right next to it, or what's the part?
No, you're on the county road.
But it's right next to Demetria Winery.
Now,
Yeah,
does
right
the
across
winery
from
have
it.
security lights? Do they have lights?
No, they don't have any lights.
Okay, good.
Across the street from that winery.
Dark.
Okay.
Good.
So Penny, are you going to send me something to send out?
Yes, I could do that. Yes. And so we just stay as late as you'd like, depending on what we're getting. And when I've watched the meteor shower before, it was really nice to have a nice chair that you can lean back into and enjoy the show.
Recommending a certain type of lens, like what would be a good wide? Would it be wide angle, medium?
You'd want it wide because you don't know where the meteors are going to be, and you want to catch as many as you can. So you're going to want to shoot as, fairly wide.
As fast as possible.
Yeah. What you're going to do is you're going to leave your lens open, kind of like doing a time lapse. You're gonna have a long exposure, then it's going to close, and you're going to have another long exposure, and it's going to close. It's going to basically do a time lapse so that your likelihood of catching meteors is increased. That's what I understand.
What about getting the Milky Way too? Is that going to be a good place for that? Good timing for that?
I hear it is too. That's in one of the guides I have, they say that's a very good time for the Milky Way.
Okay.
As a general sense, yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. And that would be my question. Those of you that have the photo pills could maybe see from that location if maybe if there's any fine tuning that we need to make. Maybe you could respond to the email to everyone just to see if there's something we need to know. How about you, Tony? Would you look that up? Could you tell?
Larry and I are going to be at Demetria on Tuesday afternoon, and we can use the photo pills and just kind of check out what that area is going to look like there. I can have Rosie send out an email Tuesday later in the day.
Yeah, that's better if you can do it from the spot. Yeah.
Oh, from the spot. Okay.
Yeah, we want the coordinates.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll send out some information Tuesday afternoon, evening.
So are you scouting for us, Cheryl?
Yeah, because we're going to be there anyway.
Do you want to go on Tuesday night to just have the field trip be one day early?
No.
Okay.
They're going to be drinking heavily before that.
With some friends, that's all.
Okay, that's cool. That works out really well. Thank you all.
Very cool.
Well,
It's a plan.
I'm going to sign off, so I'll see you guys.
Yep, it's.
I've got to.
We'll see everybody to the competition.
Thank you all. I'm going to have to leave.
Yes.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Y'all.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. 12.